So we all know what is this, right? A planet called Earth, another planet from the sun. Like, probably we're thinking of Big Rock, and why is she talking about this? Well, another thing that we sometimes don't think about is it's our home. Something that probably one day will destroy it with our actions, and yeah. Well, for many people, being in a home is a place where we like to be comfortable, spend time alone, think about stuff, with family, or we also like to try to maintain it clean, presentable, and once in a while, show it off to our family and friends that we got a new, I don't know, sofa, bed, or anything, or we just painted it or something like that. But do we really are cleaning our earth? Are we taking care of it? Are we even calling it a home? Well, no. Because pollution. There's many types of pollution. Waste. We're polluting our earth with waste, our water, our air. But mostly today I'm going to talk about the different ways of polluting our earth, especially with air, in the air. But today we're going to exploring the two different sorts of air pollutions, which are natural air pollution and human-made pollution, or in other words, anthropogenic pollution, and also share the top 10 polluted cities in the United States. There are two types of air pollutions. There are two types of air pollutions. Air pollution that comes from naturally and also human-made. Natural air pollution sources produces a greater quality of natural air pollution sources produces a greater quality of pollutants as like nitrogen oxides, carbon monoxide, hydrogen, cars, and trees, and carbon dioxide is humans made source. The only difference between natural and human-made air pollutions is that air pollution sometimes cannot prevent it, but human-made air pollutions, we can only do one thing. We choose to do it, but we ignore it because we're driving our cars, or probably just, I don't know, wasting more water than we used to, or any kind of just driving our cars. Anthropogenic pollution is a human-caused air pollution. It remains most in urban regions. Approximately 2% of annual deaths in the United States are caused by air pollution. Humanity is most in. Sorry. So this is the top 10 most polluted cities. Our number 1 is Bakersfield, and then the Los Angeles are number 2. I know we've seen that every time we go up to Los Angeles. Number 2 and number 3. Number 2, it's also tied with Phoenix and Visalia, and you see some of them, and we know them, but we just don't pay attention to them sometimes. And last semester I took biology, and my teacher always told us that human beings are very smart and to develop new things like going onto the moon, trying to find new things, explore new places, but are we really smart to prevent pollution? And this is a picture of Los Angeles, how we sometimes, over the summer, it's when we see more smoke than we used to. This is a quote that found. Similar to that, it says humanity is the most intelligent species on the planet, capable of anything but governed by its aggregation with young, and species that last in developing but shows maturing. Once a species that cared about its home and it provided. It let it go to make decisions. A period of ignorance and negligence has made profound effects across the world, effects which can be released if nature is given the time to repair the damage. Remember, we only have one home, and this quote was by David Bellis. I really didn't find anything about him or any information, but I just remembered that about my teacher, and I found something similar to what he was trying to say. And that's pretty much it.
Taylor, are you here? Did you have something to say?
Yeah, I like the information you gave. I like the visual of the one photo of Los Angeles and the list of the different cities that you listed. Your intro was a little hard to follow. I wasn't sure where you were going with it in the beginning. The complications, the technical complications, and that's all folks ending.
All right. All right. The visual as an attention device is okay, but and it tries to make the subject significant and relevant to us. The focus on what you're talking about needs to be a little bit clearer. I know that ultimately you're talking about air pollution, and then you mentioned that there are different kinds of air pollution, but you barely talk about any natural air pollution, and there's not much explanation about what it is that is the human-caused pollution. Are we primarily talking about particulate matter? That's what the top 10 cities are dealing with, as opposed to, for instance, CO2 in the atmosphere, or the level of toxics in the atmosphere, or distribution of those kinds of things. To me, it felt just a little too open-ended as to what it is you're talking about. You did set up the body of the speech with a pretty solid preview. So that part's fine. The third point seems to be just about you were going to give this list of the top 10 cities, but there's not any explanation about why those cities are in those particular places. So many of them are in California. Is it all primarily because of driving? Are there natural factors that contribute to this? Are we less careful here than other places? Do we have a greater concentration of cars? Although in Visalia and Bakersfield, I'm not sure that would be the explanation. So there needs to be some other development of this. And you talk about the cars, and you speak as if we ignore the pollution that comes from cars without talking about any of the actions that have been taken to control the pollution that comes from automobiles. If automobiles are the primary source of these particular problems, well, what's being done about it? And from everything that you said, apparently nothing. We just drive as if we're indifferent to it. And I guarantee you every 2 years that I'm not allowed to get away with that. Actually, it's every year because I have so many damn cars at my house. I'm always having to go for one of those smog checks. So I know that there's something at that level that goes on that. And also the price of gas goes up every January, February because we switch the kind of fuel that we use here in Southern California. So I know that something is being done about those issues. Are they insufficient? Are there some things that we just can't control that way? That just feels like it's all information that got left out, and we just are left with something that I'm not sure people didn't know before the speech started. They probably already knew a lot of the things that you're talking about. It was a little bit odd to me that you started with on the video